Hey, one of your Aurora images. Awesome. Looks like it's dripping though.
It's a dripping aurora. It's not a heavenly aurora. It's
A
not a
dripping
rhythmic
Aurora.
aurora. And hey, do you think people will notice I changed my glasses for this episode?
Oh, I think that people will be commenting in the comments about
How
that.
about that? Yeah. They
Yes.
probably like the other glasses better.
So have you ever played golf?
Are you kidding me? Did I play golf? My dad and I played twice a week,
Oh my God.
and I actually became a pretty good golfer. So I never had a handicap because I just never belonged to a club, couldn't afford to. But I've shot in my lifetime three legitimate 78s. Count every one, putt every one, no mulligans. So if I was in the mid 80s, I was pretty happy. And I don't know if you know, but about only 10% of people who have ever played golf break 100. So I was in that 10%.
You were in sales, so I guess I should have
True.
assumed that you,
Yeah. So I'm a golfer, but what the heck does this have to do with photography? People are already rolling their eyes about my golf game.
well, uh, I played golf at one point
I
in my,
can't imagine. You're so spastic and
well,
uncoordinated.
no, actually, I'm very coordinated. My problem is I'm always initially good at something, but
Uh,
never put the time in to
ah,
develop further.
Kind of like your photography.
So you get that initial good feeling about it, but then you start playing more and you don't progress, and I get frustrated and quit because I don't want to take the time. So I read this article once. I was hitting pretty good. I really was for a beginner. And I read this article. It was 7 tips to improve your swing or something like that. And I studied those 7 items, very succinct article that you could easily digest. And I went out, teed up, and I've got these 7 ideas in my mind. And I take a swing and look off into the distance, and there is no ball because it's still sitting on the tee. And that day, John, I could not hit. I was trying to change 7 things at once,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work. And it just screwed me up. And it probably is where I stopped playing golf anymore. But I think about that as photographers. How many times we're reading these articles about the things you should do to improve your photography? And a lot of them are centered around technical things, and some of them are centered around other things. And I'm wondering what the impact is when we go out after reading this article with these 7 ideas of how to create a better photograph, if maybe our experience isn't similar to my golf swing experience.
Boy, that's a great question. Really is.
So, my question to our audience is I hope most people will agree that trying to tackle 7 ways to improve your photography at once is not a good idea. So, if you could suggest one thing to someone to improve their photography, what would you suggest? What would
Wow.
you recommend?
Whew.
And let's see what our viewers say.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to hear what we have because I'm struggling because I've got so many that I could easily come up with seven, right? But your question, I think, is a really valid one, and that is no, it's just one. If there was one to start with that was going to help your photography, and so vision comes to mind, and giving thought to that, which most people never have. So I think I'm going to go back to something I use in my lecturing, and that is I don't think people have asked themselves this question generally in most photographers that I've spoken to in clubs. They've never actually sat down and answered this question honorably. Why do you photograph? And so I do think having those types of diet in my mind, I'm not coming up with gear related stuff, technique related stuff. I'm coming up with what I find to be way more important than that certainly changed my photography. And that was doing what DeWitt Jones finally asked me to do. Why do I photograph? Why do you even do this? And really giving serious thought to that. So that would be my first one off the top of my head. Now, by the time we finish this and I think about this all night, it might change because
I, I,
you put
I
me on
don't
the spot. But
let's let the viewers say what they think, and we'll give extra points to the first person who says remove your lens cap because that's always going to come up. But let's see what our viewers think, and then maybe we'll do a follow up on what they think if
That's a
they could
great idea.
one piece of advice to someone to improve their photography. What would you suggest?
Great. Excellent. All righty, bud. Good question. It's going to have me
Thanks.
thinking for the rest of the darn day. Thanks a lot for that. And hey, we'll see you in, or we might already be in Oregon.
That's like in 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good chance this is going to be airing while we're there.
Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.